Hello. Good afternoon, good day, good morning, good night, good evening. It's the type of news. I'm Dutch Perman. That's Bruce Robinson. And here goes my chair. Oh, God, that's the wrong way.
This is why people think we're the same height.
Okay, go ahead.
And people actually want you to run for politics.
That'd be
You
fun up
be in
there.
House of Assembly, readjusting your seat every 5 seconds.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna rebuttal Mr. Speaker, but hold on a second. You know?
Future of the country, everybody.
Well, we're doing a lot better. So, as everyone knows, and probably have read, that it has been 1 year since the election. And I do think that it's very funny, you know, we come to this point where it's 1 year in, and everybody finally starts asking the questions of, you know, how has our life been better since this election? Like, where are we as a country 1 year since changing government, you know? And it's funny, no one really starts to think about those questions until 1 year goes by.
And it's too late.
Now, I think we've always said the same thing, that we believe that it's been 1 year since election, right? And this is when everyone starts asking the crucial questions, you know, where have we gone as a country? What have we been doing? What has changed for the everyday? As you've heard this being used, Mr. and Mrs. Bermuda, you know, I've heard that a lot of times.
I haven't heard that at all.
I've been reading it like every time in every article though.
But Mr. and Mrs. Bermuda, the new Bermudian dream?
I guess
Do we
so.
have a Bermudian dream? It kind of seems like we have a Bermudian version of the American dream.
Mayonnaise.
That is
It's
disgusting.
Yeah, I agree.
It's completely uncalled for.
It's
Whoever
insane.
invented that white spread should be put to death.
They're probably already there, thank
I
goodness.
don't care.
But you did.
Dig him up.
No,
Find his family. Hellman. It was Mr. Hellman. That's the most famous mayonnaise company. Hellman's mayonnaise.
well, one thing what I will say, right?
Disgusting.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
American Whip is even worse.
Oh.
But either
Ooh.
way, before we get distracted by the disgustingness of that nasty condiment, I feel like one of the big issues in Bermuda that we have, you know, we're seeing 1 year after the election, and I feel like we have a similar problem to America, in which we never stop election. Like, election is just always going. It just always seems like one party is pitching how much better they are than the other, and the ghosts of the elections past always trickle into the next term. So it's just like we never just elect and then go about our business as a country. We just always trickle back to, oh, the election date. Oh, this happened during election. Oh, this election.
You know what I hear a lot? Like a lot. That it doesn't matter who we elect. It's all just the same thing. It doesn't matter who we vote for. It's all just politics. It doesn't matter who we vote for. However, those people that say that would prefer a black person to be in power for the sake of them being black. It doesn't matter what they do because they just expect them. It's like they expect the government to do whatever they want and to get screwed, but they think that there's nothing that they can do about it, which in my opinion is probably the dumbest thing you can say, because this is not America. We do not have some electoral college that chooses things even though we don't choose them. However, Bermudians need to understand that we can actually get stuff done if you want things to get done. The problem is when you let your politicians, now this goes for both parties, old politicians, whatever, UBP, OBB, PLP, that other third one that they started back in the 90s, whatever. Whoever sits in the House of Assembly, we have influence of. Because governments need to listen to the people. It's just if the people aren't saying anything, then what's the, like, why, what? You know.
Well, it's the same old tune. I mean, at the same time, I think that people do have merit when they say nothing really changes, because
There is merit to it.
Bermudians
That's what
are
makes it
very,
bad.
very vocal. I feel like Bermudians actually have the rare ability to stop their politicians on the street and speak to them one-on-one, and I think a lot of Bermudians do actually stop these guys when they're walking, because our politicians are not behind like bulletproof glass
Yeah.
or 20 bodyguards or a motorcade, you know.
You're
They
not
are
gonna
walking.
you're not gonna bump into Trump and Pence at the grocery store.
No, and I think that Bermudians do definitely express their thoughts and opinions to their representatives and to any MP they see, really. But I do think that when they say it doesn't change, it is the same song and dance, because we sat here about a year ago and we were criticizing the Progressive Labour Party for doing nothing but oppose and not provide any solutions. And we said that a good opposition is an opposition that provides alternatives to what the government is doing and provides solutions to what the government is doing, or solutions to the solution that the government has saluted, you know, if that makes sense. So
solutions to the solutions that the government's saluting.
But
that was just confusing.
The issue is, though, is that now as we sit here, we see now the OBA as opposition singing the same tune. I mean, it's been complaint after complaint after complaint, but there hasn't been any solutions put forward as to how we can change that. We complained about the healthcare going up $21, and we heard the OBA echo that complaint, but no healthcare plan that could possibly mitigate that raise has been put forward. We've seen the OBA complain about education, but we haven't seen an education plan put forward by the OBA that could mitigate that problem.
Well, here's the Word Gazette article of what Aunt Jean was saying.
Yeah, I mean, she made great points, but again, what solutions are you putting forward to couple with these points? I mean, this is pretty much what we said. We did a whole video on this, and at the time, the PLP was the center of that video, because we said, you know, you guys are just a person with no sort of solutions. And now here we see the OBA doing the same thing, and we will say once again, the opposition's job is not just to oppose; it is to provide alternatives. And I don't know what generation this disappeared in, but we need to bring it back. Like, we need alternatives. The people should always have a choice. It shouldn't just be, oh, here's a sugar tax, and it's just going to be that way. Because that's how the PLP does legislation. They say they're going to do it, and then they want consultation. But it should be an opposition there to say, well, instead of that sugar tax being this way, how about you do it this way? And the people should be able to choose, and the government should implement whatever the people choose, not the other way around.
I mentioned to someone, I as some of you know, I went to school in Philly. I mentioned to one of my friends that, we're doing the sugar tax down here. They're like, oh yeah, we're doing the sugar tax out here too. I hate it. Out of curiosity, how much is it? Man, a bottle of Coke used to be $1.50. Now it's $2.50. I'm like, $2.50.
But man, that's a lot.
I understand that, because you can get a 6-pack of A&W for literally $3.99 at Walmart.
Yeah, for real.
No, with the tax, that would be $4.99. A 6-pack of soda down here is already $7.75.
Yeah.
At Marketplace. I'm not sure if it's different elsewhere, but usually, give or take a few. The average 20-ounce bottle of soda is about, 16-ounce bottle of soda is about what? I think on special, $1.89.
Yeah, and what it used to be was, if things are expensive, or at least our wages are higher. But what's been happening?
It seems like everything but the numbers on everything but our paychecks are going up.
Yeah,
insurance up, prices
deductions
up, groceries
coming out, and then what you're spending out is going up, and the deductions from what you make is going up. So what you're making is going down.
But then even to touch on the progress on how things have gotten easier, it doesn't seem like things have gotten easier, because health insurance is going up, and to combat health insurance, you introduce this sugar tax, which makes the prices of everything go up. So it's like,
and I'm sure we'll hear a different tale in the Premier's throne speech, where he will try to wine and dine us into the progression that the government has made in this last year. But I hate to say it, and like I said, we've been giving Premier Brett a lot of credit. We have not been too sold on the dealings for arbitrage. We have not been too sold on the progression of education. We have not been too sold on the progression of healthcare costs and cost of living, which was promised to go down under the PLP, not up. We are not too impressed on any initiatives done for seniors, which was heavy in their campaign. Senior citizen this, senior citizen that. Apparently there was supposed to be youth housing for young people to get their first place to stay. Haven't heard much on that. So
why don't they take all that empty housing that they had everybody at America's Cup at by what's it called? By Switzerland and Warwick, all them empty houses that they spent those millions of dollars build. What I kind of question those millions of dollars. Glory, hallelujah. Wait, what's that kind of much? I don't know.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I'm not gonna quote.
I think it was, but I'm not sure. So don't directly quote us on that.
Let's
So
see,
you can't sue us.
Yeah.
Because we said we're not sure.
Mm-hmm. But I am going to say that Ms. Atherton made points, but what has the OBA done in the last year as well? It's like when you are pointing the finger, you have to make sure that you yourself are strong. And Christopher Fame has actually said something that made sense.
Should we look out the window and see if pigs are flying or if White Jesus is coming back?
He said that Ms. Atherton is saying a lot to distract from the infighting of the OBA, and I do think
there's been a lot of infighting.
That's true. I feel like it is a lot of distraction because Ms. Atherton does go up there and she says, "Peace be still, peace. We want to do a lot of cross-aisle work. We want peace in this house." But then you have Mr. Dunkley and other members firing pot shots at the PLP at every turn. And my thing is, pot shots are good, but they get old. They get old quick. We don't always want to see pot shots. Sometimes we just want to see.
Sometimes.
They are necessary, but with all the solution, they get old.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
It's like you're done your pot shots. You're proving that the government has fumbled in this area. How can you do better? It doesn't make any sense if both me and Bruce are looking at a hole in the wall, and both of us agree, yeah, it's a hole in the wall, and then that's it. Yeah, I mean, if I see a hole in the wall, and then Bruce walks up and says, "Hey, it's a hole in the wall," I'm like, "Thanks."
I'm gonna see if I can find a list of stuff that Bert says we've accomplished.
Yeah, but if he says, "Hey, it's a hole in the wall, I got some sealant," then I say, "Hey, thanks." And I mean thanks. It's got to be that point in Bermuda where we stop pot shotting and stop putting our heads together to make things better. Because right now they're getting worse, and I don't think it matters which government is in, because frankly, they're just consistently been getting worse.
Well, I mean, I think the big pat on the shoulder is that the PLP completed 20 out of the 21 things that they said in their 100 days. However, that's all fine and dandy, but I mean, Diallo Urbain's been hiding under a rock since they won the election. I haven't heard anything from him.
He's been in the papers. I mean,
just because it's in the papers doesn't mean it's in the paper for something good.
But I mean, he's been speaking on educating, but like I said, it has not been.
Speaking is not doing something.
That's what I mean.
I have not seen any change. I have not seen any cohesive plan to fix anything.
He said he was on the rock, so I'm just saying he ain't on the rock. He's on top of the rock, but he ain't doing nothing on that rock. He's on the rock. You can see him. He's there.
Okay. Bad analogy.
Got your eyes on him.
Well, only one of them works, so
Well, my eyes been twitching lately, so maybe. No, it's not gonna do it now. Not that you're looking at it. They might have saw it. They're in the recorder.
I'm gonna animate your eye twitching. Just throwing that up there.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, ever since Jamal fired Mr. Dunch, I ain't heard much from him either.
But that's because they have yet to replace Mr. Sweats or
Shoots. Mr.
Shoots. Mr. Shoots' job yet, even after a year. So,
matter of fact, I haven't heard anything from the Gaming Commission.
Because the Gaming Commission, Mr. Shoots' position, his role, was the one that pushed the Gaming Commission.
I understand that,
so they don't
but
have anybody pushing it.
I mean, it was such a big deal, and now it's just going dormant.
Like Mr. Dunch said in our interview, he said, I defer to the expert, Mr. Shoots. Me as the person in charge is not necessarily the driving force. You know what I mean? And that's his position needs to be filled by somebody who's an expert in the field, and they have yet to fill that. So, nor have they followed up with events authority or events commission or whatever they said that was going to be pretty much created in line with the BTA. Probably because they spent all of that money on these unbudgeted consultants. So again, I don't think anybody should be impressed with either party right now. I can't see how you could draw a line in the sand against one or the other right now, because neither one is showing me anything, or showing the people of Bermuda anything that's progressive. I mean, I haven't seen anything. Like, where was the OBA for the appeal? Like, did they speak out against the appeal against same-sex marriage? Did they speak out against that?
I thought they were hiding under a rock. I mean, the rock might have an OBA sticker on it, but I don't see any of them.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, Jeff up and quit.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm trying to figure out.
I was a little disappointed by that because, like, after only 8 months of being in opposition, he quit. I mean, I'm sure he had his reasons, but
Yeah, so
I
my thing is again, what are they showing you to garner your support? Like, why are you supporting the UVA right now? Why are you supporting the PLP? This is something that I want to know, because most of the reasons why people are supporting them is because it makes them feel safe. People who support the UVA feel as though the PLP is going to bankrupt this country. Sorry, country. They're going to bankrupt this country, right? And they feel that way because of the proven track record of the PLP to bankrupt our country. Mm-hmm. They have been in government for 15 out of the last 20 years. So I don't know how everyone's saying the sky started falling on the UVA. Now, on the flip side, people are supporting the PLP because they feel as though, well, if we don't, we're going to end up back in chains in 1960. So it's like, what are you going to do?
Well, yeah, like I said, you either shoot yourself in the foot or you shoot yourself in the foot. At this point.
So which foot you like better?
Which one? Your left one or your right one? Which one you want?
Yeah. I don't know where I was. Where was I?
It's the difficulties of filming. Sometimes there's technical difficulties, so the camera cuts off.
Yeah, that's right.
Either way, yeah, it's just confusing because, like, we're hearing, oh, we've done all this great stuff, and then we're like, well, where? Like, what have we seen on a national level that's been any decent? The gaming commission's gone silent, the education system's gone silent. Well, it's not gone silent. It's just I don't see any changes.
And this is the PLP is gonna have its first youth function in over a year of being in power, but your whole campaign was youth outreach, and then when you got into power, it's been a whole year.
Hey, listen.
Since you did something.
Better than do something late than not do it at all. However, I haven't heard anything from the opposite side of the fence in doing it. Just playing devil's advocate here. Like, we can criticize them, taking a year to do something, but at least they're like, you know what? Let's at least try. I will give. I'll give points for that.
The OBA's youth outreach has always been pitiful. Like, I mean,
what youth outreach?
Exactly. Like, I mean, and my thing is, the young people right now are the ones that are leaving. Like, young people are leaving Bermuda
and I was very upset because
buckets.
I was there at the election night for opposition leader, and Jean Atherton spoke in her speech, and she said, get more women and young people involved in politics.
Yeah, we need that.
Other than you bringing Justin Matthias everywhere with you, like, as a personal whatever, that's the only young person we see.
And
I mean, you've got,
every time you look, you see young.
I guess Nandy and Robin are young.
No, but I mean, I'm talking like
20s,
like 25 and down.
8
They're leaving. They can't find work. They can't find affordable homes. They're living with their parents because they can't move out because it's so expensive.
And then we get shamed for living with our parents, but it's like Bridget, like a hole in the walls, $1,500 a month without utilities.
Well, look at it like this: how is a young person supposed to start to save if everything's going up?
Especially when even some of these young people that do have jobs, like some girls in retail make $12 an hour.
So what exactly is the appeal?
How are you supposed to survive off of $12 an hour?
What is the appeal?
You can't even buy lunch with $12.
For young people to stay in Bermuda if they can't pursue a career in medicine. We don't have a medical school, and I'm going to advocate for this. We should have a medical school because other Caribbean islands can have a medical school. Bermuda, who has a lot more resources, should be able to have a fully functioning medical school.
We should have a medical school, we should have a technical school, and we should have a trade school. Bring back trade school.
All of that will encourage young people to stay in the country. And I mean, at the end of the day, we are facing a crisis where we have an aging population and we don't have any young people who are well enough along to sustain it. I mean, so what's going to happen when these people retire?
I hear from some people saying, oh, these young people having these children. Not enough.
Not enough. Well, 5,000 people done.
Like, there's not, and then y'all want to complain about the expats being here, but, like, I mean,
here because having a child is expensive. That's why they're here.
And even if you have a child, trying to get on financial aid is near impossible.
And then trying to get off is even more impossible.
Exactly.
So, again, I feel like getting caught in the party politics and looking at a year in election. A year is going by. We need to start looking at what is going to happen when that population retires. What is going to happen when elders, folks at 65 leave the workforce and we have a workforce of like 20% of the country? Not even. It's going to be how our pensions going to be sustained. How our pensions going to be sustained. How are the taxes for the country going to be sustained on a population that is overgrown? Like most of my schoolmates are not here.
I know how the taxes are going to get sustained. They're going to make us charge $8 for a can of Coke.
Yeah, for real. Because most of my schoolmates are going. Pretty much all of my high school graduating year and the 4 years below are either away in school or away in retail or away doing something.
That reminds me, like the 1 year school I did do in Bermuda, I think maybe like out of 30 of us, maybe 4, 6 of us, including myself, are still here.
But the thing is about that, all of this is happening. I feel like this is one of the most prevalent problems in Bermuda, and it's not at the forefront of the government. Like, they're not discussing the way to retain the youth. They're not discussing any of that. So it's like, how do you intend to mitigate such a large problem if it's not even on the top of your list? Because the top of your list needs to be who's marrying who, same-sex this, and independence that, and insurance this, and fintech that. But you're trying to get young people engaged, but they're not staying. So
I don't know. I'm just worried because, I mean, as a person that wants to stay here, is it worth it?
It's becoming more and more costly every day.
Like, is it worth me, like staying here and trying to start a family with how expensive it is? Or should I move to Canada? Should I move to England? I'm still got British citizenship. I'll move to England before they before they go independent. Or,
Yeah. So.
If your pad is a wax museum, be a swinger if you dare. Join the ranks of the young and exotic, following a millionaire. A glass and a shaker, our host is a real scene maker. The millionaire's holiday.
So we're just gonna wrap it up because our filming slot has been hijacked. So we're just gonna wrap it up and say this to the government
and the opposition.
Please prioritize things that matter. Let's talk about how we can keep the young people here in their own country to contribute to the future. How will you mitigate the aging population crisis? And how will you actually get to work on cost of living? Because I see you having a commission or a team of people on cost of living, and all I see is everything going up. So either they're not doing the jobs or they suck.
Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And as far as that little thingy that's going on, well, by the time you'll be watching it, would have been yesterday.
Hopefully we'll be there.
If we go there, we will be reporting on that.
And we'll be asking these questions right out there.
Damn right
in my
we will be.
marketplace uniform. How about that? Because I gotta come after work.
How about that?
That's been it.
Catch me inside. There you go. We're bringing that back. We're bringing that back. Catch me inside. How about that?
I'm Dutch Pippin. That's Bruce Robertson and everyone else.
How about that?
Hi guys.
Boom shakalaka.
Boom. Bang. No, it's nothing sacred anymore.